Hello, welcome to this channel. My name is Sam, and in today's class we're gonna do breathing exercise on all fours, which is gonna mobilize our backside of the rib cage a lot. You will work on your abdominal muscles and release our hips for the hinge movement. You probably don't know this, but I am now in the rehab with a coach from Ireland. His name is David Grey, and he's working in David Grey Rehab. Shout out to this great coach. I came to him with a bulging disc in my lower back, with a patellar tendinopathy or tendonitis, to be honest, I don't remember. And basically the whole left leg was weak and awkward and full of pain. I have been working with David for almost 1 year online, and this summer I'm excited to travel to Ireland to finally meet him in person and work out for 1 week. And in this rehab, we are working a lot on my breathing mechanics, because I'm a person who has shallow breathing, and apparently I don't use my core muscles to keep my ribs stuck the whole time, and I ended up having a straight spine. They call it flat back syndrome, where you don't have, well, where your spinal curves are a little bit less accentuated. So this exercise that we're gonna do today is a really good one to mobilize the backside of your rib cage, the backside of your rib cage, and the thoracic spine, to create that curve without losing the length of your spine. So let's get started. Coming on our four knees, a little tip for you is to have a mirror for you to be checking on your form, or maybe a reflection, that means a window next to you that you can see your reflection, or perhaps filming yourself to check how are you doing. Coming on all fours here, as usual, wrists below the shoulders, but this time we're gonna push the hips slightly behind our knees. So on our hips, not necessarily above the knees, but slightly behind. And here we're gonna create anterior pelvic tilt. So think about creating that lower back curve. So we're thinking about cow position here, pushing them hips back, looking for stretching sensation in the glutes. And from here we're gonna place our wrists right below our shoulders, fingers pointing inside, or probably slightly 45 degrees but in. And from here we're gonna think about pointing those elbows out and bending them generously. So here you're looking like a bulldog that is about to throw fists. Coming into position one more time. Pushing them hips back, knees slightly in front of the hips, creating the curve, stretching the glutes, finding that shape of our arms. And here we're gonna now think about our scapulas. Try and touch your scapulas. And now, as you want to push your scapulas to the sides of the body, think about spreading the scapulas, moving them gently on the sides of the body. So you're creating very round shape of your back. What we're not doing is that we're not pointing the scapulas so they are sticking out, but we want to glide them to the sides of the body. So you're basically in this position. What you don't want to do is to create curve in the thoracic spine by folding in thoracic spine. So we're losing the length. We're now looking inside, inwards, and we're losing that length of the spine. Instead, you want to create the length of the spine, creating the curve in the lower back. And while you maintain that length, now we're gonna think about rounding and opening the backside of your rib cage and the thoracic spine while you release with your scapulas to the sides of the body. So we're gonna do that. It takes a lot of repetitions for your brain to learn. If you have patterns that I used to have, I probably still have them. Coming into that position on four knees, pushing them hips back, tilting the pelvis back, finding that glute stretch here. And we're gonna find the position of our arms, bending the elbows, pointing them to the side, pushing the floor away, rounding the backside of the rib cage, and gliding the scapulas to the sides of the body. While you do that, keep checking on yourself. You want to maintain the lower back curve, and now we have beautiful rounded thoracic spine here. What is not happening? We're not creating the shape with losing the length of the spine and folding in the thoracic spine. That we don't want to do. So coming into this position, lower back curve, low back curve, tilted pelvis, pushing the floor away, bending them elbows, scapulas on the sides of the body, round thoracic spine. And from here, notice what is your neck doing. Is it here? Is it looking down? Is it looking all the way to the belly? You want to look right in front of you. Right in front of you, and push your neck behind. Push your neck back as if you want to create double chin. So we're lengthening our neck as well. And here, we're going to start breathing normally. Find your deep breaths. Find your exhales. Just simply maintain this position, get used to it. It's probably taking a lot of effort. I remember myself at the beginning, that was almost impossible. And from here, bring your attention now to your belly. Probably look at yourself in the reflection. And we're going to start our breathing. As you inhale in all of your ribs, into all sides of the ribs, exhale and look at your belly and draw them ribs down towards the belly button. Exhale, entire last drop of oxygen from your lungs. And notice when you exhale, your ribs want to draw all the way down as if your waist is becoming slower. So the sides of the ribs are coming to the belly to meet with each other. So your abs, your transverse abdominal muscles are all working. Your intercostal muscles are all working together all the way to the lats. That's what you want to feel. Let's inhale and exhale one more time. Just inhale normally, naturally, maintaining that shape of the four or the all four position. And as you exhale through the mouth, you want to blow the air as strong as possible. Think about that ribs connection. Your ribs want to come and meet with each other. This is very strong position here. I want you to look for sensation in your abdominal muscles as if you're doing a crunch. Let's do one more time, regular breath, inhale. And as you exhale, draw the ribs back. Exhale super strongly, blow the wind as if you want to blow feathers in front of you. While you do all of that, I want you to also now, as you exhale with the next one, now do all this blowing, do all this activation, draw them ribs down in towards your belly, but maintain that lower back curve, maintain that hip position. You don't want to exhale and draw the ribs and pelvis towards each other. No, that we don't want to do. We want to maintain anterior pelvic tilt. We want to create that length in the glutes, that hips behind the knees. And as you exhale, only the ribs are moving. Inhale normally. And exhale, blow as strong as possible. Maintaining the position of the hips. You probably can see in the video that my lats, my side of the body is activating super strongly. Let's do this one more time. Focus on the hips. We're not moving the hips, not a single inch. What is happening is only ribs are moving. The belly is becoming smaller as you exhale. Inhale deeply and blow super strongly as you exhale. Pointing the elbows out all the time, scapulas on the sides of the body. What is moving only is your belly side, is the sides of the body as well. So try and practice this exercise in front of the mirror. Look at yourself. Keep in mind that you want to maintain this whole shape. Imagine if you would film yourself and speed, nothing moves except your belly and your chest inflating and becoming smaller. So for the next 5 breaths, we're gonna now focus. As we inhale, we're gonna focus inflating the rib cage to the sides, to the back especially, and into the front. So why into the front and not into the belly? Because when we're creating this shape, what happened to me is that I was trying to create this thoracic curve and lumbar curve by just bringing my chest and folding slightly into my chest. That created sternum compression. So I was inhaling only into the back side, and I was not even thinking about my clavicle. And this created very uncomfortable feelings in my sternum that I had to readdress. So let's come onto our all fours. Same thing. Hips slightly behind our knees, tilting the pelvis to the ceiling as much as possible, creating the length in the glutes. And here we're gonna place them palms as we placed the first time, elbows pointing, and they are staying this whole time bent. The shoulders above the wrists, neck slightly back, creating the long neck. And now we're bringing the scapulas to the sides of the body, opening up the back side of the thoracic. So as you inhale, normally inflate your ribs, open up, think about drawing those ribs towards your armpits. That's how you want to draw air. And without losing the shape, without tilting the pelvis, we're gonna exhale and draw the ribs down towards the belly, making our waist super small. Blow as strong as possible. Maintain the bend in your elbows. Inhale, and inhale maintaining that pressure as if you want to hold them ribs in the place, and you want to inhale into your rib cage, especially in the back side. And as you exhale, inhale through resistance, inhaling through the resistance and exhaling. One more time. Inhale. There is a lot of resistance happening in the belly as you inhale. Last time, inhale through into your rib cage, into the back side of your rib cage. And release. Another point I want to bring while you're taking a break is when you inhale in this position, and if you have a mirror next to yourself, please take a look what is happening in the upper side of your belly. If it's coming to open up, so imagine if we're in this position and we're inhaling through resistance because our core is holding the rib cage not to flare, and we want to instead bring the air to the back side, to the sides, to the clavicle, this part of the rib cage. So now, having that in mind, imagine I'm on my all fours, and as I'm inhaling through the resistance of the belly, and inhale, look where is the air now. It's not in my rib cage, it's not nowhere in the body, in the upper body. It is all the way up here, and this is why probably you will see lots of rib flares and everything. So we don't want that to happen. In order, if that is happening, think about bringing, as you want to bring those rib cage towards your towards your armpits, as if you're drawing the air with the back. So we're drawing the air rather into our lungs, into our rib cage, while maintaining that tilt, while bending those elbows, and while bringing those scapulas to the sides of the body. And as you exhale, none of those changes, only the belly. Let's do this one more time. Inhale and exhale. Inhale into ribs, through resistance. Your entire torso is working here. The back side of the torso is working to maintain that lower back curve. The front side of the torso is working to keep them ribs down and pull them down, to even sides of the ribs to pull down. And that's probably the most amazing exercise for your core muscles, because we're learning to use our core muscles to resist the pull of the pelvis, the pull of the ribs. This did take me a lot to learn, to understand, to learn my body position in the space. That takes a lot of mental work, that takes a lot of tries, and it will take a lot of understanding where is your rib cage positioning. Are you making your upper ribs to fold down in order to create that thoracic shape, or are you using your breath to bring the air and open up from within, from the inside of the body, your backside of the ribs and the spine? So I hope this helps you a lot, and probably this is one of the greatest exercises for practices where you want to strengthen your core muscles, where you want to balance out after back bending practices, and just generally if you are someone who's working a lot at the desk, or who's standing a lot, or who has probably lower back pain, this is your go-to, because most of the time, most of the day, our pelvis is tilted and we're breathing without the connection of the lower body. So where this position where you have to maintain the lower back curve is something very challenging. So thank you for taking this class today, and shout out to David Grey Rehab. Go check his YouTube channel, his Instagram, and that's it. Take care of yourself.